This isn't just a game. This is TNT. Welcome to the jungle and welcome to 8 Squad's Thursday Night Throwdown.
Featuring the game's top talent, pick up games where chimps become champions.
Thursday nights 8 to 10 p.m. every week, only on 8 Squad. Catch us live on air on Twitch at twitch.tv/8squador.
We're going to be seeing this SA-12 come out from Viper. I do think it's probably one of the better weapons in 3v3s. I'm not sure how this minigun buff will change things. I do think minigun is very good in 3v3s, but I think SA-12 just edges out slightly. And we do see Orange Team getting the spawn advantage over here, and they're going to be able to push on rather quickly. Over on this rooftop. Pink Team going to be playing this low ground, going to look to get Church most likely. They're going to just gateway right up on top of this. We're using Castaneo to get that height advantage.
Looking like Tinel's on the Pike. I think those Pike really aggressive weapon on range, especially a monocle.
Yeah, and Pike is just so good. The TK values are impressive. Certainly gets taken down to half. Make-A-Wish Kid coming in with a decent RPG on Castaneo, but does get dropped down. That dome coming out from Rennie, playing some defensive time here. Temo's just staying back. Rennie gonna be looking down on this team as they rotate. Temo waiting.
Point is tapped. He's free to move. Actually gonna take these fights and proceed moving forward.
You see Signal kind of looking to take an off angle here. He's gonna look to go aggressively on this team. Temo's not knowing he's here with. Now to push aggressively, he did waste too much time there and doesn't get a backshot. Temo's taking some massive damage, does go down, but Rennie getting that trade on that teammate. Signal taking a big RPG. Rennie at 3 bars. Signal can play aggressive here. He doesn't know that though, I don't think. As he runs away, Rennie at 4 bar. Signal looking to get a wipe here.
Fight. Fight. Commanding point. I would say A is a better point over at Grandma's. He's not like fighting out there and B out of those fields. But we will see what they decide to do. Looks like they are heading over to B.
B being in this forest is such a hard point to hold.
Absolutely.
I do not like this. They do get some slight spawn advantage here. Orange Team coming in from the right side may catch them off guard. They're going to bounce past straight in here. Going to get that gateway. B must get that gateway through on that pad. They're going in aggressively here. Rennie getting some massive damage taken on him. Going at the dome. Signal gets to 2 bar. They're going to be forcing the point here. Rennie 1 HP. Castaneo looking for some back shots. Does get it. Castaneo. Now Rennie just 1 HP. The Viper left. Emails and Rennie looking to push in here. Big pick from Make-A-Wish Kid, but not enough time. They do get that fib and get that reset on Pink Team, so they had a massive advantage going into that fight.
One more fight and Pink will close out the rest of this point. Being out here in these fields, anything can go any way, man. There's not a lot of cover. It's just out in the open, out in the, you know.
Yeah, I don't really think Orange needs to force that point. They need a little bit more gun power to break through that defense.
It is weird.
They do spawn. They're gonna do that gateway play yet again. And aggressively, huge damage on Rennie and T-Mills. They need to make something happen. Mimo gets taken out by Castaneo. Not fighting a 2v1. Make-A-Wish Kid takes out T-Mills, but a little too late as Make-A-Wish Kid gets 3 bar. Castaneo 1 HP though. Dancing around his mesh shield. Gets taken out.
Looking like Pink will take the first point. Well held by this Castaneo, T-Mills, and Rennie.
I just think Orange is going a little bit too aggressively. They get a good entry, but they get split up in the mix of it. TPing in, not having much information to play off of. They are getting just a little bit too split there. They have the same spawn. Emo doesn't know Castaneo's out here. Gets shot from the side and gets taken out by Castaneo. Yeah, making some great damage on Make-A-Wish Kid. Dirgnode looking for that slow res. Will he get it in time? Does get it up. But probably a little too late. As orange team gets taken out.
Lower. I do have a lot of background noise.
The Boundless are back. Team respawn. The live wires are powering through.
Getting that TP on too. They're gonna have a setup here, but I'm not sure they're gonna be able to utilize it as orange team does gateway straight in to this fight yet again. Make-A-Wish Kid getting some great damage on Rinny, but
getting a pick.
somehow Signal gets taken out. Rinny getting taken out for that trade. Timo getting some big damage on T-Mills. Does get him out, but 1 HP on Viper. Timo getting a clean re-kill.
2v1 at the moment.
Went both 1 HP. Castaneo does not know this. He's gonna look for an ego chow here as Bimo looks to potentially track him down.
And Orange will secure their first team fight of this match. They will have the ability to move the point. I will say they probably moved to Grandma's on A. It's probably one of the stronger points to hold down. It is a very hard point to tank on offense.
Bimo running in to plug this. I think this team's gonna spawn over in the courtyard area. Yes, they do. They are going to be rotating over.
They are out in the open. They have to take zipline too high.
This is a tough position to push. Castaneo already half HP. They're going to have to wait for that regen. It's not going to take too long. But as they do, Rinny going to take some great damage on his mesh shield. He's not going to have it for this next fight. It's going to be at little to none. As he rotates over out in the open, going to drop that dome as he takes that 1v1 against Make-A-Wish Kid. Winning that fight out. Bimo's getting taken down to half. Bimo needs to look for this regen. They're going to be looking to get this fib as they're not watching the body. Signal running away from Rinny. Will he get away and get his regen? He does, but Make-A-Wish Kid gets taken out. Does get a clean trade with T-Mills. Signal cleaning up that kill on Castaneo, and it's just Rinny with that RPG looking for value on Bimo. Bimo gets RPG'd. But it looks like he's going to trade out with Signal. Signal backing up.
1v1.
I like this play. He's going to buy his time. I don't know if he's rezzing. It looks like he is. And it looks like they're going to be in a clean house situation there.
One more fight. One more opportunity for Pink to try to finish this game here. Orange having a really good spot on Grandma's. It's a really hard point to take.
Set up a very clinical defense. Pink team's gonna spawn in 5 seconds.
On it. They just need to play slow, play on the point, and they should be able to capture the rest of this point.
Pink team spawning by statue yet again, getting some clean beams. Bimo hitting some great shots over there on T-Mills. Castaneo also getting half HP. It looks like they're gonna just rotate for positioning. They're gonna take this fight to the next vault. Getting taken out.
Getting headshotted by the Pike. That thing is so crazy against lights.
Castaneo pushing up aggressively. Wants to get some ego chow here. Gonna look for this wipe as they do triangulate on this orange team.
Bimo is back on his feet though.
Gonna be rotating out with T-Mills on that off angle. He's gonna have to take a clean shot on Bimo. Gets taken out. Castaneo half HP. The communication does not look clean from this orange team. They should have told him T-Mills is right above him. And T-Mills does clean that up.
1v1 with that heavy. Point gets tapped. Which point would you want to plug here, Soyo? Which one would you be your optimal pick here, C or D?
I do think This is a tough one. I do like B. You do get to play that height. Orange team does get an aggressive spawn on this. They can play roof potentially and hold this window. Bimo is probably going to catch Cafaneo off guard, but he does see that gateway. Cafaneo looking for the push. Bimo going to get some initial shots and does take out Cafaneo.
Getting 3v1 right there on that roof. Very strong, oppressive play with that TP. They opt out for the flip.
They're not going to look to push. They're going to let them get the flip, and they're going to reset.
Now that's how you play to win this game show.
Looks like they might wait out the coin for Cafaneo to come back into the game. They need to play strong on this roof. It is going to be beneficial for Pink because they do have a Pike on their team. Take some shots on them, some back shots, smack them off the roof. See what happens here.
That's for sure, Scotty.
Bring
Keep your eyes
They
on
do get their spawn in on their light. They have a drop. They're going to probably bait this down. I'm curious how they're going to take this. Bimo's going to be taking a great off angle. Going to have a great line of sight. Cafaneo getting taken out yet again.
Took a hit.
Wish Kid does get seen by Rini. Throw that down to the dome. Gets an RPG inside there. Getting him out. As T-Mills gets some aggressive, great shots by T-Mills. Rini getting taken out by T-Mills is just 1.5 bars. Will they be able to find him? Signal looking to push aggressively.
He needs to die.
He does find him.
And
that looks like it's going to be a victory for Orange Team.
Absolutely.
They have 20 seconds. I mean, I don't see a chance at all for this team to come in unless they do get the spawn, which Cafaneo did in Gateway, and just Hail Mary this point. But even so, there's going to be little to no time.
Absolutely. This game is pretty much over. Well played by Orange. Taking that roof from Cafaneo at the start of this point. Really consequential kill on Cafaneo, and that cost us the game.
And Orange Team securing this point, locking it down. T-Mills emoting in the corner there as Cafaneo wants to play aggressively. Well played from these teams here. Orange Team does take the victory. Bimo, Viper, and Signal taking that victory.
Easy dubs, easy dubs. They did struggle on that first point, but they were able to clutch up with the grandma play and on Church.
I just think the adaptation from Orange Team was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Kids think they were struggling, like you said, very hard on that first point. But
look at these
Bimo
kills. It
coming
was rather
out
close on kills here.
clutch.
Both teams going absolutely insane. Good combat all around.
Oh,
we got a minigun.
Pulling out the winch minigun, it looks like.
You got a
Crazy
minigun.
pick. I used to play this back right on the start of the season, thinking it was all that, because you can keep your rev during the entire section of that winch and then have full rev after you winch them in. However, it does not, to me, it does not seem that strong. It seems a little bit too high risk. You have no defensive play. You cannot drop domes easily. Mesh really bails you out with that minigun.
Right. Kind of doing a 50-50 type joint.
It's a prime day.
Putting yourself in a bad spot.
And now we're going to be spawning in. Both teams have an even spawn. It's going to be a big face check. Signal's going to look to peek this corner. As Orange Team does play smart and gets that high ground. They do catch him off guard. Make a wish, kid, looking to push in. Lotus jumping away, letting Integrity alone. As he does get taken out, he's going to be revving up that minigun. Lotus getting caught off guard. Cafaneo does get a pick, however. And Lotus goes down. It looks like it's just Cafaneo as Pink Team gets a full reset.
Got the
1v1
model.
with Viper. Getting taken out. And Pink Team does get their choice. Lotus did not seem prepared enough to get that rev up for this fight and does get taken out. Cosper
Looking
getting
like
left alone.
Winch with a SA-12 and Winch with a minigun. We also have Signal with the motto instead of the Serb this time around. So
We see Orange Team
picks.
adding up. Cafaneo playing in an off angle. Gremlin might be caught off guard as he does get run away. He does get seen though. Gremlin getting a massive flick, getting some entry damage on Cafaneo. As they rat, Lotus gets caught off guard with that minigun. He needs to start running and revving. Does get a pick. Cafaneo does pick up for him as Gremlin does get that off angle. Viper does get that trade out, and it looks like it's gonna be a 2v1.
Viper getting the res on his medium. And they are 3 strong. Orange looking like they have one more shot, one more opportunity. Mom spaghetti to get in there, take this point from Pink.
Now waiting for his team to reset. This is a smart move. They're going to have 1 minute to push this point. Now looking for some entry damage on Gremlin, tapping him away. We see Lotus revving up. I think he is relatively new to minigun, just noticing how he does move. And he's not revving right now, so he's not familiar with keeping that rev. He is splitting away from his medium.
Not too much time on this point. Come out, no connections.
They're going to have to look for something very quick. They need to regroup on this point because one person needs to hop on. They're going to demat this point down. They need to ride this. There is nothing they can do at this point to get this. As that minigun gets some massive damage, Circle Make-A-Wish Kid gets taken down. Circle looking for a flank. As Gremlin does get the finish. I mean, that was impeccable damage output. Gremlin getting the diff on the medium versus light.
That minigun just going absolutely ballistic on that heavy, just tearing him to shreds. Pink able to take that fight.
Yeah, and as Pink resets, Gremlin is going to be rotating over to 2, trying to get this tap, get this box moving along. That's up a gateway for his team as they regroup onto this Vault 2. Orange team potentially does have an opportunity to cut them off. If I were them, I would set up with the points to their back. Gremlin does see them and get some good shots off on Integrity. That gateway putting them in a bad spot. Make-A-Wish Kid putting that in that barricade, but Circle gets taken out. Terrible gateway from Gremlin, unfortunately. Putting his team really out there, getting that lock pull on Make-A-Wish Kid. Dropping that dome, looking for that winch, but does miss it, but does get the cleanup.
By himself. Looking like he's opting on 4 coins. They have plenty of coins. Could make this play. Orange will get the plug onto C. This is an interesting point to try to take out in the open on the bridge. Lots of height. Let's see how Pink decides to play here.
They're dematting it down one so they can then put the C4 on and it drops all the way down. Smart team play from Integrity.
Pink pushing in. Gremlin taking a little bit of damage. Looking for his regen. Make-A-Wish Kid pushing up on high, aggressive with his RPG. Puts it away. They have a counter pad on Orange. So if they try to pad on him, they do have an option to peel away from that RPG play. Circle taking a lot of damage on the low ground.
Circle gets taken out.
Gets obliterated. Minigun going crazy.
Gremlin getting pushed by that minigun. Does get the opportunity to dash away, but he is just too barred. They're going to look to push.
Thinking about that, those minigun buffs could be really strong against lights, right? Because you're getting a tighter spread. That's what the buffs were. Yeah,
I was testing out earlier today. It did seem like lights are going to be a big hindrance. Like that minigun's going to be able to thread those lights at
a lot more consistent, right?
A lot more consistently. So that's huge for them. And Integrity taking down to half. This is going to be a big hit to his health bar. As Orange team does have some great time. All they need to do is just play time, play slow. They'll be able to drop this all the way down. Lotus and Integrity going to be able to demat through this wall on this point. He does get on top of it to write it down. Does get off though. Forcing the point, Cafaneo with an impeccable off angle. Lotus not winding up his minigun in time and just jumping in and dying.
Orange does secure and win the team fight there. They will have an opportunity to tap 3 and discuss where they want to move on from there. I'm liking both of these points. I like Yeah, both of these points are absolutely solid. Both A and D are really good on the defensive. We'll see who gets the plug first and who gets to be on defense.
I think, personally, D is a much stronger point. It's way easier to kite around, a little bit less predictable, but a lot more
Correct.
options with those layers. A is not bad, however. Pink team jumping up onto the orange, not winding up that minigun in time yet again, and gets caught off guard by Gremlin with that dash. Gremlin out DPSing that minigun with that dash, being so oppressive. Caffeinator pushing aggressively. He knows they're so low back there. He does get one.
And that is the team fight. Pink
Gremlin
coming
does
out
get
on
the
top.
cleanup.
We will see. Looks like they will go A. Honestly, A is not that bad of a point. They do have a winch. They could winch it outside, making them really exposed to whoever has to take. So, like I said, I don't think it's all that. I think both points are great.
Gonna
They
be
do get the
D-map
plug on A,
padding it
and
out.
they do. Yeah, absolutely. They do get to pad it out, outside in the open. Fights taking place up top on the roof.
Caffeinator already down to 2 bars. He's gonna get that quick regen. Does not hit the glitch, but he does get a gateway right above them.
They
Right
got
by
a
the
counter
side.
pad. They decide to pad. Both padding. Lots of damage on Make-A-Wish Kid. He's able to get away and kite for his HP. Oh. Turning on orange there. Minigun going burr, but it's not enough. Pink winning that fight. Both teams padding on each other up top on roof, taking lots of damage. Pink able to kite away a little bit and secure those 2 kills quickly. And they did win that team fight. However, Orange does have one opportunity to try to take this point out in the opens. They have to be aggressive on this roof and force Pink to make a play.
Orange team gets the respawn. They're gonna be pushing it aggressively. Gremlin getting some good initial shots on this high ground. Make-A-Wish Kid sitting behind this barricade, playing safe, trying to block all line of sight to that winch. Orange team does drop down, pushing, looking for any opportunity. I can't believe Viper just dropped down into that fight. Does get a winch, and just not, and he gets a winch back. That minigun almost cleaning through, but Surge on 2 HP. Gets that reset. Caffeinator looking for the steal. This could be it.
And Orange comes out on top. That minigun just absolutely destroying Viper right there. Make-A-Wish Kid. Love to see the minigun plays. Orange, well played on this awkward point on this roof. Let's look at these kills here.
I just can't believe that Viper dropped down there. That was one massive mistake that cost them everything.
Absolutely. You want to maintain height, maintain positioning. Not too much time left on that point. So dropping was not the play, and it cost them right there, as you can see. But if you look at these kills, kill-wise, both teams going absolutely crazy. You know, lots of kills, lots of damage, lots of combat on both sides. So they played their butts off.
Exactly, and we do see Gremlin hopping on that heavy, as they do have Viper opting for the light pick this round.
I will say, Shaq is probably my favorite sounding heavy weapon. Just doof, 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 doof. That thing sounds incredible.
I've been loving it recently. I used to be a big hater on the Shaq, but ever since the S0E3 got nerfed, it does feel really good.
Right,
It just has its moments
solid
where it's like really
addition
bad,
to the game.
though.
Very solid.
It was a very
addition to the
solid
game.
addition. I agree. Viper kind of ratting. Caffeinator does not know he's here. Will he find him? He does go up on him, getting some great initial shots, taking this light 1v1 and gets taken
Caffeinator
out.
getting exploded off the map. Make-A-Wish Kid going glitches up top, looking for the kite. Caffeinator still dead. They do get the defib on him. Both teams up fully at the moment. Point is tapped. Arcanum looking for a fight on top for the serve. He is 2v1ing with a minigun.
I'm right behind him using that minigun, just spin botting it looks like. Arcanum gonna hit him with the serve, taking him down to half HP. His team does get the peel for him and gets Alfie taken down. Arcanum at 1 HP. Make-A-Wish kid hitting a big flank on circle.
Deleted!
Out.
Deleted!
Oh my gosh.
The
that
minigun!
minigun.
No!
1v1 right now. Light versus Light. Will Cafaneo get his revenge on Viper? He does look like he has a slight advantage. Gonna dash over and take this ego fight. Pushing in. Getting that 1v1 and does take him out at 1 HP.
Hey, we gotta shout out that minigun, just absolutely obliterating, being relentless, holding down that left click, not letting up, just mag dumping on him, and it worked, but didn't work good enough because Orange did get this first fight. Man, I love seeing a minigun. Like spectating wise, that thing is something else.
Cafaneo setting up for a good push on this team. Gonna be able to catch Cafaneo or Make-A-Wish kid off. Getting some clean off angles. Does need to look for some damage as Arcanum gets taken out prematurely without any setup. I think he's just going in for free almost.
Not
Circle
the best
does get
spot
the drop.
to be.
That minigun coming in. They're setting up a gas line right on top of them. Questionable play if they just jump in there.
They do get the flip. One left on Orange. Cafaneo running for his life. And it's looking like Cafaneo was able to get out safely. Still kind of close, putting himself in a bad spot. That's cut away. Arcanium coming in for the coin, getting deleted on the roof. Not the best play to be on a roof with a Cerberus. Not sure what he was doing there, but he does get away safely. Cafaneo taking some shots. Pink having
finally getting back in this round. They're going to be looking to drop. They showed their presence. Now they're going to look to rout. Arcanium pushing a little bit too aggressively potentially for his team. Going to get some sneak peek on Gremlin. Could catch him off guard if he does not. Does push that serve. Interesting play. Demats it down. Gremlin gonna start to rev up this minigun. And get some great shots on that mesh shield. Is gonna get caught off guard, but gets taken out with that Cerberus being such a strong weapon. Orange team is gonna have to look for a steal here. Juggernaut throwing out the Q. Hopefully this gas mine does not go off. They do get the wipe, however.
They do get the steal.
Juggernaut does secure it.
Well played by Orange, holding that mesh up for the medium to come in and just obliterate him with the Cerberus. Well played by Orange at the end.
Zipline over here.
Still, no nerfs on the Cerberus. What do you think about that?
I cannot believe they did not nerf the Cerberus. It's been ages. And I woke up this morning, I looked and saw CB1 repeater getting more environmental damage. I was like, yes, today's the day. But then I opened the patch notes and nothing. Pink team going to be looking for this glitch. Does not hit it. They're on this low ground. Orange team throwing that box across the entire map. Looking to rotate all away from all this utility that Pink just dropped. And now they're lost.
They got a free rotate. Broke their ankles. Awkward point out there on B for Cerberus. But we see how they decide to hold this down.
Again, going in
Arcanium putting himself in a bad spot. Out in the open. Makes it across though, however.
Cafaneo gonna continue to wrap from this off angle. Gremlin looking to push Cafaneo and make sure he does not play this. Make-A-Wish kid's gonna look for a TP off on that interesting gateway. They're gonna add into the gateway. And Orange team rotating away. They're gonna rotate a little bit too far away from the point. They need to go in aggressively here. Misses that lock bolt. Does not get any value. Gremlin does have that rev though. That's gonna be a tough push to make. We have just a wall, a Berlin wall pushing between this two teams as they do break through. And now Arcanum pushing in with that Cerberus. Make-A-Wish Kid 1 HP. Nobody's calling out. He can literally just smell. Sneeze on him with that Cerberus. But Cafaneo's going to be the last one keeping away. Does get the pick. And he's taken out.
Like I said, very weird point to try to hold with a Cerberus. He's kind of useless shooting him with a wet noodle out in these open fields. And as you can see, Pink able to just absolutely take complete control of that situation and take this point. I would have opted out for C instead of B. Not too sure what they were thinking there, pushing B with a Cerb, but hey, that's what happened, and now they got to adapt and overcome here. They still have one more point to try to win out the rest of this game.
They were just sitting ducks behind that wall. They were a little bit disconnected. One person wanted to push back into their point, and one person wanted to pad away. So I just think there was a little bit of disconnection, and that's what really caused the downfall.
Absolutely, and that is the nature of these pug matches. You have to adapt with players that you've never really played before. So
shooting bodies, Gremlin shooting a body on.
Love to see it. Friendly banter. Doesn't matter.
Circle's body? I don't even know.
It looks like two bodies. I don't know. Letting out that frustration with that minigun.
And team getting this tap. Cafaneo looking for this high ground. Arcanum pushing in aggressively onto this. Like gets shredded by the minigun. That DPS, that spread getting tight and just allowed him. I feel like pre-patch, Arcanum would have won that with the Cerb.
Potentially, that was really close range, so it's not 100% on that, but Cerberus is always very strong.
He's Cafaneo beaming from across the map. Gremlin looking again, gets Arcanum and backs off with his dome. Cafaneo taking a 1v1 against Viper, does win that. As Gremlin's still 1 HP. His regen stops and gets taken out himself. Orange team taking this victory and gonna have the ability to set up where and how they want onto C, most likely.
They should take it C. I don't see any world where they want to take it to D. They should learn their lesson out there in the previous point, and they do take it to C. This will be a much better point for the Cerberus to shine. We'll see how this plays out. Got a lot of leg room in here with the DMAT, with the Cerberus, able to kite to each individual building here.
Lots of drop potential. Spaghetti? He was going to look to block wall and carry that thing off, but thus failed. Cafaneo going to be playing this high ground yet again. Signal with that shack, getting some damage off on Gremlin. Not going to be that much, but yet that regen is going to stop. Does miss the gateway pad, and now Gremlin's forced onto this low ground, takes it alone. They should push this. They do realize he's alone, but Alfie getting that taken out. Make-A-Wish looking to get something done, but ultimately backs off.
Now there's a one person left on Pink. We have Gremlin fighting for his life, and he does finally get taken out. Looking like they have one more shot on this point, and that will be the rest of the game. So Pink having to be aggressive on this next play, force them to point potentially, make Orange make a play. We'll see what happens.
And we have Cafaneo setting up on this crane. He's going to be looking to go across and hold this high ground away from this team. Pink team, he's going to get some great line of sights on this. Massive damage on Make-A-Wish Kid, almost taking him down. Gremlin gonna get TP'd up there, just failed to get up there.
Crazy shots on Crane.
As Pink team does continue to push this high ground. Alfie getting taken out. What are they doing? They know he's on.
Not looking
Gremlin's
good.
just look to take, but he does not. Ultimately, he does drop down. They're gonna take this ladder.
And Orange just absolutely steamrolling the rest of this game. Do got to disconnect, maybe a little bit of frustration there. But Cafaneo going crazy on that crane, bro. Just deleting people as they come in. And they were
I'm
able
not
to
sure
secure the rest
why
of this
Pink
game.
Team decided to push up. As soon as they know he's on crane, you need to push in on that low ground, team at the point down, and look to force.
Absolutely. Not the best play by Pink, but hey, maybe lessons were learned. If you look at the spreadsheet, looking like Make-A-Wish Kid going absolutely ballistic. 9 kills, 4,000 damage. Not enough to help his team win that game, but hey, at least they had fun or something.
Typically has played heavy from what I've seen. Rippy pulling out that SA-12, it looks like, not avoiding that buff on the minigun. Gonna show improve what's right. And I do think it does have the sauce in 3v3s. I do think they're both about even. Having the flexibility to put that dome down. We're gonna be seeing a double. Nope.
Last second switch.
ML versus HML. Love to see it.
Rennie on the heavy yet again. Last time he was with the M6. Let's see what he does this time around.
Great to see Pink Team move in from this pad. Orange Team does get the high ground advantage. Drac on that light. Gonna be looking to get this tap as Orange Team takes this height. Rippy looking, holding that RPG out, breaking this zip line. Looks for this information. They're going to be playing on the staircase. Drac looking for an off angle. Going to be setting up a gateway from this backside. Does come up with a jump pad RPG. Rennie does get taken down to 1 HP as Cocky Beans does go down from Ujakoni. Rennie gets taken out himself. Rippy going. Rippy getting a kill on Noose. It's a 1v1 scenario. Getting caught off guard. Will that SA-12 hold the candle to the light? Rippy missing some shots. Does get to be able to pull out his mesh. He needs to get this reload off so he can then push this advantage.
Doesn't stop his regen, by the way. Rippy full HP.
Rippy pushing aggressively with this mesh. Looking to get some movement on this zip line. And reload yet
Points
again.
coming out on both teams.
Rippy pushing a 3v1 now. Did not realize that team was able to push on him. And now he's going to be able to get taken out. Cocky Beans does heal in. That dome going to offer some protection here. As inbound falls behind and gets a bad spawn, unfortunately for him and his team. Rippy does go a little bit too aggressive there. Unfortunately, Pink Team does spawn on this hospital point.
Absolutely. Able to pad over quickly, help out his teammate against Rippy. They do get one of the stronger points in the match right now. So we'll see how Rippy's team is able to come over here and try to snatch this thing away from them.
They do spawn really close, giving them a little bit more time. Not sure how they're going to play this. Cocky Bean's going to use that invis to gateway over onto this low ground for his team. Inbound, TPing over with Rippy. Huge off angle from Ujakoni. Cocky Beans does get pushed, and he has no dash to escape. That just shows how powerful dash is. Rippy does get some great shots off of a Noose, and Rennie RPGs himself as Noose does get that defib. Rippy on that flank with that Cerberus. It's going to be too much for him. So does he get this pressure, and it's just Rippy alone. Unfortunate.
Rippy trying to look for the back door, not really able to do much because his team did get taken out really quickly there. So unfortunate situation for Rippy's team. Looking like one more opportunity for Orange to get over here, put in some work, see how they tackle this situation on the hospital point.
Pad to the right. Hopefully, but he's gonna go up.
Aggressive pad here.
Gonna get a big RPG right on Ujakoni and Noose. Hitting a 1v1 inbound is gonna need to get something working here. Does get that trade. It's just Cocky looking for this 2v1. He needs to get a kill, and Ujakoni there just in time for his team to clean up.
That Cerberus from Noose doing a lot of damage on that initial fight on Rippy. Pink does secure the first point. We will see that where the next point spawns. It's looking like it will be on Injimo. Rippy spawns on Hospital right behind him. Not sure if they noticed. Getting very... He's taking a lot of damage. Able to get away somehow, some way. Rippy taking a pad. They do got a decent amount of damage out on
Tony
Noob.
getting some great off angles. They're going to zip over. Inbound Halo taking a 1v1. Does end up losing that as Tony does kill in time for his team. Rennie at half HP. Rippy will get his cleanup. And Pink Team does go down.
That will be Orange's first team fight. They do win. They also get the plug opportunity. Looking like they want to go A, which is a solid point. Lots of drop potential. Well played by Rippy's team on Orange. Looking for a God Zip potential. Absolutely. Getting that really quickly.
The live wires are back in action.
Rack getting aggressive here. Hockey Bean's getting taken out. Pink Team does get a massive pick. Catching the Orange Team off guard. Tony inbound getting taken out by Drac, and it's just Rippy down, swarming like mosquitoes.
Orange Team not able to set up as quickly as they should have. Because Pink got in there and just hit him with a massive backdoor. Udraconi with the back shots.
And look to set up this gas. Does get a little bit of area coverage. Not going to do that much because they're going to spawn in, and that gas is going to be gone by the time they get here. Going 100 meters away. That's a rough spawn for point A.
No God Zip. Gonna have to pad over.
Gaming straight up to this. Be looking for a rotation, looking for to catch one of these players off guard. Brack getting some great rotations, fighting this team away as Rennie and Noose just hide and hide and hide.
Hiding right under the point with the pad. Like
There is no use chasing this dash light. And Pink Team's probably just going to pad up. Just waiting right here. Waiting to engage at the perfect moment. Getting a massive creep that she does see them. And this cash out does ultimately fall up onto this top level. Hockey Beans getting taken out. If you're going to be looking for this steal, Brack going to be playing this high ground. Going to get some free shots on Rippy. Unfortunately, does almost get it though.
Orange struggling all the way through, not able to adapt to the Noose, Cerberus, the Drac. Back shots, well played by Pink. That will be your game. And if you
what a
look at the score,
yeah, another fantastic game from these teams. I do think we were lacking a little bit of direction from Orange Team. They do look a little bit too split up. They were taking fine 1v1s and getting their trades. However, like it was just slightly a little bit too disconnected from Orange Team. And here we go, Rippy pulling. Rippy on the heavy. This is gonna be a great teammate v teammate, heavy v heavy right here. And as we go in, one is a very neutral spawn. We do see Pink Team being able to get that tap first. However, Orange Team does get that high ground advantage, pushing in towards this point. Going to be using that scan to get a little bit of information. Both teams has that scan out here. Brack jumping onto this high ground. Rippy following suit, waiting, looking for any bit of information. Teals jumping up top. Is going to be able to rotate towards B. Make-A-Wish Kid opting not to plug just yet, as this fight has not even started. We're looking through this hole, getting some shots into there.
Smart play by Pink, not coming up, noticing Orange is on height, playing very safe here.
Every team playing that sonar, they have great information on everybody. She's just chilling. Everyone knows where everyone is, baiting that gateway, I think, using it to scare them just a little bit. This is such a silly position. Drak gonna get caught off guard and runs, opts to run away. Halo doing that up, blocking this down using that red barrel. Rotating away with this point. Ashi gonna melee throw that just slightly away. As every team is just in a stalemate. Nobody wants to plug. Pink team may use this as bait and just clean rotates away. Team L's on that pike, gonna get some shots. Off not to commit there. Missing almost every shot. Mills looking to zip up with Rippy onto the metal.
Getting some real tack shooter vibes from this matchup right now. Really slow, really patient, but they do finally get the plug. Hopefully we get to see some action here just shortly in a minute here.
Females looking on this high ground. Ujukoni looking to sonar this point yet again. Rippy just playing super slow. Ashi an inbound flying on this sky deck over here.
Like not really the strongest weapon on this map, because Las Vegas is really oppressive on close range, more close range options. So we'll see how Mills adapts here with the pike.
On the sky deck, Rippy does see them. Mills not opting to play this D-mount on the roof. RPG's going out from both players. Rippy does get half HP. He's gonna get a big flank, but does get taken out by Ujukoni in the back, protecting his teammates. Mills half HP. He's gonna maybe offer a res and D-mount his boy down and gets RPG'd himself as Hockey does get that back up. Mills gets taken out. Rippy 1 HP. And Pink Team does take that victory. Look at that heal beam coming in full force. Hashi being kept safe and sound by inbound Halo on that sky deck. Ujuk Viper getting a great back shot.
I think Timo should have held up top with the D-mat instead of dropping in, putting himself in a bad spot with that pike. So not much time left on this point. They're going to have to be really quick here.
Setup here with this goo. Look at this. This could be something to take note. Inbound Halo coming up with some new tech. Orange team is going to be able to rotate in.
Pad. It looks weird too with the pad under like that. That's interesting.
It could be very lucrative, low key about setups. Like that is on a 40-second timer. Drops it. Look at that.
That does work.
Inbound coming up with attackers. I'm going to have to take that one down.
Yeah, that was dope.
Last one. Flying around on the zip. Gonna be taking a face-on fight against Hashi. Does get the pick. Huge damage from Draconi. Really showing that his light is a menace to society.
I really like that group play on the point. Definitely something to take note of. Putting the goo on the wall with a pad, dude. I've never seen that.
Alright, that's what you get with Pugs. Everyone coming together, sharing their strats, creating a melting pot of information. I think that's one of the more creative things I've ever seen recently.
With the goo pad, right? There's no drop potential, so you put the pad there to launch it off. That is brilliant. 10 out of 10 strat. Not sure how consistent that is. It must be if you felt confident.
I mean, it looks pretty consistent.
Right.
It's just, I'm curious how C4 interacts with that goo, because you can just throw it with C4 and drop that pad right on top of it.
It looks like they did shoot it out, though. They didn't even try to shoot
it out there, yeah.
They shot it out instead.
Mills playing it aggressively. Pink team Orange team just letting them run away with these plugs. I think Orange team is lacking a little bit of direction. Ashi been working on his IGL. He is fantastic at doing it. He just needs to stay vocal and not get discouraged. He's been working on it, and I think he's a fantastic player at doing it.
Absolutely. Macro is everything in a game like this.
Hashi climbing up this ladder, gonna get caught off guard. Inbound needs to drop with his teammate, getting a clean heals. If he pushes aggressively, all these glitches going out, and Pink Team does just continue to kite. I love it. Hashi making these great calls, leading inbound up to this high ground, getting the advantage on Orange Team now. What
They
a
are down a player, though.
rotate.
Orange should go for a steal here. They have the opportunity. They have a man down. C4 is going out doing massive
Not in
damage
time,
on the heavy.
Unfortunately, they do just force point and get that flip. They are in a disadvantaged situation. He needs to get that RPG off. Where is Viper, though? Gets res inbound. Rippy, 2 HP, needs to get... They need to look for a pick here. He's going to be holding that mesh for his teammate. He's just going to get beaming as he does pat up and get that pick. Unfortunate that red barrel did not work out for Hashi there. I did like the play. They just needed to create that hole quicker. And Orange Team will equal things up.
Looked a little sloppy by Orange, but it still worked out in the end. Trying to take that point with C4s on it. Rippy taking a lot of damage with the C4s, but they still managed to get on top and take that point. Ujikoni doing lots of damage here. 4 kills, almost 3,000 damage. Put it in there.
Huge
Work
fire.
for Rippy's team.
Huge fire happening on Eastwood over there.
The Boundless have done it. Cash out successfully completed.
Very impressive. They turn a steal into a cash out.
Playing this metal
Ooh,
fight. Get
double
looking for
headshots
pick.
to heavy.
Padding, a terrible pad, unfortunately, for Team Mills, but Rippy does get to use it with effectiveness. Inbound Halo, 1 HP. Hashi gonna get taken out by Rippy. Rippy getting some massive picks with that pad. Let's just make a wish kick, and Rippy almost cleaning everybody up.
Massive damage with the pike there. Double dinking, double
Paper
headshotting the
buildings.
heavy. Pike is one of the best guns if you land those headshots on medium. That thing can prove otherworldly sometimes.
The Boundless are opening Vault 3.
This game is about consistency, so
Avenge that team wipe.
Setting up the gateway
mixing
on
up my words
point.
there.
Rippy holding it for his team as Pink Team looks to rotate on this high ground. They're going to be taking this gateway. Hashi dropping down, not knowing there is a gateway. They do get that instant plug.
Boundless have started a cash out.
Bound. Sitting tight, looking for some damage. Hashi alone. I don't think this team knows that Hashi is
Solid
so
point
alone.
for a pike, though. Ooh, the medium taking a lot of damage from the pike. Coming in, medium looking like one shot.
Inbound Halo out one shot. They will get that regen. Hashi looking to lead his team to victory. They're going to probably break this point down as Team Els and Rippy just wait. Ujikoni on that far off angle. Going to be playing this triangulation pretty well. How this plays out. Hashi going to look for a Pixie. And does find them. Ujikoni rotating in to get some good angles. Does look for something, but does not find it. Hashi dropping the
looking to
C4, getting
hold
that
height.
double drop.
Going for the steal.
Inbound does hop on with enough time. Drac is going to be... Oh, good flick on that and does get the steal. Rippy at half HP and Hashi does RPG himself, getting extra damage on Rippy, but unfortunately it's not enough.
The midpoint is here, and the stakes are climbing higher.
Back and forth, these teams.
Great move there by the Boundless, stealing that cash.
I like Rippy's kicks, not gonna lie. Those are cool shoes. Not sure what pack those shoes are from, but those things look cool.
Keep the kicks.
Got the J's, bro.
Players are re-engaging.
Pink Team spawning in Death Alley. They're going to be taking that gateway. Inbound Halo was the only one to do so. They're not going to have any time to jump this point. Inbound does get on in time. Will his team be able to heal in time? Hashi, unfortunately, not there. I don't think they would have gotten it anyway.
The Boundless try
Orange Team gets the victory.
extraordinary speed and guts.
Coming out on top with the pike. Hitting those dinks. Dink! I'm crazy. Well played. decent amount of damage on both teams. Both teams just battling back and forth with it.
Now we're going to be looking at the stats. I don't think the scoreboard really shows how well Pink did in this fight. They didn't really do much fighting. They really played objective oriented and did so well at kiting away from Orange Team, but Orange Team getting some adaptations and getting some great defensive setups, unfortunately, for Pink Team.
Pink did play really well on the defense.
Cerberus? All right, Make-A-Wish did not
Viper
want
on the light instead. I would have had Sergno on medium and Viper on the heavy. That's what I would have did.
Yeah, that's probably the best comp that they have. Noose light.
Out here
Viper
having
heavy,
some fun on the public,
medium.
on the Pugs match.
But I will love to see this minigun that Sergno is pulling out. I'm not going to lie. Arcanum, Integrity, and Hashi looking to play this high ground. Playing slow. They do have the points almost to their back, so they don't really have to push the agenda. They don't have to worry about Hospital. They can just play this high ground. Hashi making the right move. Play up top. He can drop down, jump on top of them. He does not have his team with him. Integrity playing a little bit too far removed, in my opinion, as Arcanum looks to regroup with Hashi.
Hashi on the Deagles. Taking those poke fights.
That light is thinking about going up. Viper going to be pushing 1v1 versus Hashi. And Hashi gets that clean kills with that Deagle.
Looking like he was making a nuke play. He put a C4 on a red barrel there.
At that range, I mean, you definitely could make a nuke play, launching that red barrel all the way down onto that roof. There are still a few situations where you can make nukes viable. It's just like, is it worth it?
Absolutely. Not very consistent in a game about consistency.
Orange Team looking to not want to push anything. They're just gonna wait. Like, what do they do here? What do they do? This whole situation is just here.
I would say just throw the point and make a play. But it looks like they don't want to do that. They want to keep the point, rotate over to B. But they do have to cross quite the distance here.
Do respect this play. They're not going to be able to take much damage. Arcanum does jump down. They're going to go directly for this plug. D-matting in. Does get that plug.
Minigun goes Burr.
Integrity getting a clean pick on Make-A-Wish. As this minigun on this high ground gets value. And it gets tickled a little bit as Hashi gets jumped. Regrouping with his team. Arcanum, please help Hashi. He's gonna need you. Hit that fib before you go in there. That was just a serve fight. Why are you not hitting that fib, Arcanum? He does get the pick.
Pink
And now Orange does wipe.
Top. You know, Sergno on the billboard is a solid play with the minigun, considering the buffs to the minigun. Able to land more shots. So that worked out in the end. Not really.
Going to be setting up some gas barrels all around. That's a little bit too many gas barrels to be able to stop in any timely manner. They do know where they spawn, so they should be able to catch them off guard. Hashi looking to play aggressive and look to stop them from jumping across. Needs to shoot this light here. As he's going to get jumped. Integrity playing a weird off angle. I do not know where Integrity is going, leaving his team out to die. Getting zero value on this fight, as you know this team is going to be pushing over. Now they're going to be able to push, and Integrity is still so far away. Does get that pick on Viper, making it a clean 2v2, getting some great value on. Do I stand corrected? Arcanum in a 1v2 scenario does get away. Both people are at 1 HP. Noose still at 2 bar. Pink still in control. Huge shots, and now he's going to be able to force and stop this from point for me taking. He knows Noose is going to be there. He's got to get that kill. Now he can go off. But he does die from the burn damage.
Oh, they get the flip.
What is
I was
this?
so close. Hashi coming in trying to save it with the RPG. However, Sergno wasn't low enough. And
There is
Serg
no world in
able
which
to
that should be
steal.
able to kill. That Cerberus at that range. Oh my gosh. Ashi cleaning up, unfortunately, does not get that point. Woo! There is no way that Cerberus should be able to do that.
Taking out integrity, right?
Yep.
Insane. Insane in the membrane.
And going into this, Orange Team is going to be able to spawn on Arcanum. Where will they spawn? In Courtyard. It's going to be a little bit close. Ashi and Integrity are going to be playing this high ground.
The live wires grabbed a cash box.
Viper going to be piling up on that pad, decides to not do that and ends up almost killing himself. Does get that TP for his team. Be able to drop in. Han's got a great off angle. Arcanum pull in. Playing this Sir battle does lose to Noose. We need to see Arcanum be playing with this heavy a little bit more. Integrity getting a great pick, and unfortunately gets traded out himself. We need to see this medium and heavy combo be playing a little bit more together.
Not looking too good for Pink. Cerberus just obliterating people left and right.
Interesting C4 play. I'm curious to. I don't think that hits that roof. It might. I'm not sure what this play is. I cannot lie what that C4 is doing. It isn't going to be a drop, and it's not going to set up that gas. So, what is it there for? Hashi falling off. Hashi going to be able to get some clean shots on Noose. Does he get the pick? Yes, he does. Great pick. Entry frag. But Arcanum, yet again, alone. Getting taken out by Make-A-Wish Kid. Signal at full HP, getting that regen, and Integrity does get that pressure on Make-A-Wish Kid.
Situation.
And now Hashi now is able to force this point if he really wants to, with Signal killing on the high ground. Does get a great steal and does really track it. That minigun going Burr and huge mesh. Huge mesh. And now where's Viper coming in from? He's coming in. They do need to get this clean pick, and it looks like they will. They do, and they're gonna be able to get a steal. But Noose coming in last second with that Cerberus, cleaning
taking out the whole team. One clip, the entire rest of that team, and Orange
takes it
all day. Incredible, incredible coin by Noose, coming in a clean house, secure the rest of that game.
The tension is at its peak. Brace yourselves.
Alrighty, and we go into hopping into this match. We do see Foggy Day, Sandstorm. This is going to be a visual nightmare for these teams. Going to have to be fighting against this storm and against each other. Team's getting some early shots in on Integrity. Team's getting fought back. It's down to half. Ego peaks and gets down to 2 bar. Now he's completely split from Rippy. If Pink Team takes advantage of this situation, could get some good value. Virgil pushing in. Knows that he's split from his teammate. Gonna look for this lock bolt. Does get Rippy locked down as Teamos is still so split from his team. Playing a little bit too aggressive there. Rippy does get away. Huge mantle, and he should get dematted padded onto. He does get the trade. Teamos does his shots there. Makes it up for his team. Teamos looking for that res. Nobody's watching bodies these days. It's crazy to me. And Viper winning that 1v1 against Signal. Teamos cleaning up Integrity. And it looks like it's going to be a team wipe. in favor of Orange. Teamos wanting to go to B as his teammate wants to go to A. Maybe he's just gonna, wow, he does go to B.
Looking like slight miscommunication, slight, these players might be playing with each other for the first time, so it's to be expected.
I love the breach charges on Light. Gonna allow Light to be able to place 3 of them. Setting up double drops, setting up openings as he's set up. Rippy on that KS, trying to get some initial damage. Gonna be rotating towards this zip line.
This will be a
as they're gonna
great
potentially
point.
meet Integrity up here. Integrity's gonna be looking for something as Signal goes up and gets shredded. But he does get the trade with Make-A-Wish Kid. That damage means nothing if you don't get a kill. Rippy gonna be looking for that KS. Get the clean shot on Integrity. Just needs one more. Gets flanked from behind. He needs to drop. He's looking to chase Integrity. Teemo's sitting back, looking for this res as everyone resets. Huge glitch from Integrity. And Rippy going down into the stage entrance, rotating in from
They get the
this
flip.
Skyway. Pink team does get the flip. Teemo's playing aggressively, dematting in on his opponents. Huge RPG from Rippy. Inbound Halo going down. Circle at 2 HP. Make-A-Wish needs to be able to peel for his teammate here. They need to get this kill on Integrity. Does clean up that. Rippy going to be looking for the res on Teemo's, and they're going to go 4th point after
Just
this.
Signal.
Signal's going to try his heart out to stall. This pad setup could be very lucrative. Does not get anything on that. Goes for that goo multiple times. Does not hit it. Should have dropped that shot. Scoop the pad. Inbound. Needs to communicate that. That setup can work time and time again.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if Signal knew that was the setup there. It looked like he tried to go for a goose stall. But I agree. He should have known that the pad was there so he could try to pad it away.
I mean, you said it yourself just right before this point was plugged. Like, they may not know each other's strategy. And low-key, we just, as the players ourselves, we just discovered that tech art today. Inbound really showing off how strong that could be if your team does know the potential is there.
Precisely. You have no drops, no worry. I make my own drop.
Rippy dropping down. Teemo separating from his heavy. Gonna regroup on this stairwell as Signal, Halo, and Integrity look to push this vault as Viper is looking on to hide on metal.
The live wires grabbed a catch box.
Paint team looks like they're gonna play for the plug and get this cash out started. Integrity on a great advantage position. Signal gonna go regroup with that, as well as inbound Halo.
Pink holding up on top on the metal.
Teemo's
Lots
hitting
of
every
damage
shot
coming out.
there as Viper rotates in. Signal was just a sitting duck up there. Pads over. Does get that regen from his healer. Baiting point. Huge kill from Viper on to Signal. Rippy looking to peel for his team as Viper goes down. Inbound Halo getting taken out himself. Teemo's getting that res. Now it's just Integrity getting some big damage onto Rippy. Teemo's chasing. Looking for Integrity. Integrity going to continue to back out, but Viper looking to get that flank, and he does get this gateway away. They're going to look to chase, and he's pushing aggressively onto this fight, this 1v1, as Integrity just sits along this wall. There's still plenty of time, though, for Pink Team to make a comeback here in this final moment. Viper gonna play this high guard. Does find Integrity getting some clean shots. Will he end up chasing? He does push this 1v1 aggressively. Signal and inbound rotating in onto this point, pushing the 2v2. Does get some great damage on Rippy. However, Make-A-Wish Kid does get that peel back in as Integrity so far away from his team. Looking to play aggressively. Does have a pad there. Looking for something. Try and get that RPG out, but no, does not come out. Rippy does get that kill with Viper. And Orange team
comes out on top.
winning that convincingly. I love the pushing the agenda from Viper onto that light 1v1, really driving Calcifer away from the fight, keeping him in that disadvantage. And then he's able to rotate back in and help his team out as necessary with Calcifer completely so far out of the fight.
Pink tried their best. Saw that goo play again. Didn't really work out that time around, but like I
Rippy
said,
with one limb does not really show the value he had. His mesh shields to cover his team, stall time, and rotate was fantastic that entire game. Bills and Viper really clutching up on the kills. And here we go. Integrity on the heavy, playing Winch. What weapon will he be on? I'm not sure. He does like that spear, so we might be seeing it for the final round. There it is. Hitting him with the spear. He's on the chicken jockey loadout right here with this skin.
Now the arena is spotless, but that is about to change.
He's practicing his hits, warming up for this next big fight. Temo's looking off on the distance with that pike.
that's a funny looking chicken skin.
It's the
I like
chicken
it.
jockey.
That's so funny.
And we have Sergio beaming with that minigun, getting him down to half in team shots. And T-Mail is looking for some crazy damage. Integrity backing off. T-Mail's pushing aggressively with Sergio. Gonna take that double pad, rotate in. They're gonna not play for this tap. It's gonna... Ujakoni winning out that 1v1 on that light duel over there. Off on the other side of the screen, Sergio pushing the agenda on Ujakoni. We got some tickle damage. Integrity looking to play this spear. He's not revved up. Sergio is not revved up. He does get winched and gets to get taken out by that Serb with the spear combo. T-Mail's gonna look to jump. Not play aggressively, just padding for fun. Ujakoni taking a 1v1 against T-Mail's. T-Mail's just gonna accept his fate and die.
Well played by Pink, taking those off angles.
Calcifer dancing around. That's all he can do. That's all he can think. Spear pokey poke is going through that chicken's mind right now. Does end up breaking his own mantle. As you can see, all he can think about is poking.
Practicing that spear tech.
Orange team does spawn in. They're gonna have a tough time, but they do only looking for some damage. T-Mail is looking for some early damage on Ujakoni there. Ujakoni hitting some shots. Dang no to T-Mails. And as they rotate in, Sergnal might get caught off guard. They probably heard that rev just super slightly, but he might get the jump on him. As they look to follow Make-A-Wish Kit. Does look to find T-Mills as Noose gets taken out by T-Mills. That spear coming in clutch. The goo destroying T-Mills. And I don't know what this right click is. This is some spaghetti. Calcifer could just push straight in. Sergnal getting some great shots off on that minigun. Right, Ujakoni just chilling on the side. I don't think he's able to get a res. I'm not sure where his teammate's body is.
Sergnal able to keep his distance from that spear and just light him up, just obliterate Integrity there with that distance.
Noose is finally back in. Does get seen by that minigun. Chasing. They're going to try and get this movement down. Moving up as Noose does narrowly escape.
Integrity coming in from the back in spawn. They don't have much time at all. They have to make a play quick. Noose taking a little bit of damage.
Noose rotating around. There's a light duel happening in the midst, and Ujakoni wins it. Viper getting taken out. Noose chasing down this minigunner as Integrity is pushing T-Mills with that spear, gets taken out. And now we have Signal last alive.
Gets
Getting
winched
winched in.
and destroyed by the spear. Well played. They weren't able to get that point, but it's looking like they're being a lot more confident on these team fights with the spear. See how this match ends up turning out. 2 is on Hospital. Awkward point trying to tap that and bring it over, especially with a spear. So
Ukrainian gonna set up the TP for his team as Orange team pushes in on this low ground. Oxford stops spinning that spear. Viper gonna get probably caught off guard. Gonna be looking at the gateway, gonna try and glitch it. There he goes. They do not know this team is here. All they know. Noose just jumping T-Mills. That spear doing some damage against this minigun, but it gets taken out. Noose also getting taken out there.
sneaky little play by Noose. Not enough.
He's gonna set up the gateway for his teammate to pad into. Taking that gateway. Signal getting dropped? Interesting rotation. Should have probably gatewayed his teammate up to the god tip, taking it with them. Now Signal's on the low ground. He could be caught off guard, but no. Pink team does spawn super far behind him. He does have that big behemoth of a lock bolt launcher to be able to potentially get something done. He was getting such great value out of that pike at long range, but Ojukoni is going to be able to get that regen before they even have this fight. Getting that point dropped. Team L is looking for some shots. Gets dropped himself in this payer building as News W keys in. Getting down the chase. Gonna demat in and get that kill on Team L. News getting pushed by the light. Make-A-Wish kid gets taken out yet again. That server showing precedence over this arena and dominating this entire team. Looking to get that push. He's 1 HP. Needs to shoot him at range. He should be able to go down at any sort of damage. News chasing as he does miss that shot and finally cleans up.
Pink gonna be able to flip point. Oh, they don't have much time left, so they just gotta kite the point, play with the spear's advantages, and they should clutch the rest of this point and go on to a third and final point.
Yet again, spinning that spear. That's all he can do in his downtime. Orange team does get the far spawn over on this opposite side of the gap. Keeping his team in. Team L's and Signal getting split up. But there's going to be almost no time. All they have to do is drop it. They have to do anything to stall this point. Calcifer just sitting on that point, going to right click probably and beam Signal, but there's no time to steal through this. Beaming it down, does get both picks on that medium and heavy. Ujukoni just last one alive. Huge shot from Drac, taking out T-Mills in that 1v1 that he should have lost. And Drac getting taken out, cleaned up. Viper looking for that Amethyst badge on the res, but no, Signal does get it.
If you look at the spreadsheet, both teams are battling. This game is relatively close when it comes to combat and eliminations. Team that's going 1-6 at the moment on the pike, but still providing decent amount of value with those long-range battles.
Buying the same play that Calcifer was making, sitting on this edge, just hiding. Will they be able to call it the strat? This is something that people do time and time again. Crony gonna get caught off guard. Noose finds him, gets a clean shot off on T-Mills, and T-Mills falls down with 1 HP to spare. Looks like he might get his regen. Calcifer looking to push this agenda over here. As Noosh pushes aggressively, gets taken out. Emails does get away with 2 HP. Calcifer missing that winch, but getting so close to getting that kill.
Does land a winch, but still not enough DPS from that spear to finish off that light.
And that's just the flaws of the spears. Unlike Sledge, it doesn't have as many combos. You can't just one-tap melee it. You have to at least hit 2, I would imagine. Opting to drop this or blow a hole. Luckily for them, it does not fall down. It's going to be able to be taken from below. They do opt to just play it on that first floor, interestingly enough. New slow walking on this sky bridge. Rotating over. Is going to be able to potentially find Make-A-Wish. As T-Mills gets caught off guard. Noose at 4 HP. Rotating up these stairs. Getting gooed off. And now they're at their last hurrah. Just flying up on top of this stairway. Dropping. Looking to help his teammate. Viper does get taken out. And gets rezzed by T-Mills. Deuce getting that res and just farming his teammate. They do have the opportunity to be able to stagger this.
One shot, one opportunity. Looking like 4 pink to try to secure the rest of this game.
They need to be able to seize this and push this point to be able to win this
Orange
match.
in a solid spot with the minigun. With some decent poke range potential with the pike. They should be able to clear the rest of this match.
They're going to sit up in this stairway. I haven't seen this. I do quite like that initial turtle strat. Let them push us. If they want to, they're going to get minigun.
Pink not in the best spawn right here, but they are on top, pushing over.
Calcifer dropping in, getting tied down. Noose does drop it for him. And now they're going to have to push this point aggressively. They're going to have to look to force this steal. A light needs to hop on this. Huge goo, eventually blocking that C4. No C4, missing the winch.
So close!
Oh my
so
gosh.
Close! Calcifer should have blocked there, but chose to swing the spear. That's a GG.
That's a really tough position for Calcifer. He's looking at the heavy. He knows that's where a lot of DPS is going to come in. Doesn't matter if he hits the headshots, but they get flanked by the other side. Make-A-Wish kid pushing that other side and stopping the steal.
Viper coming in with the back door, with the back shots, able to secure the rest of that point, save their team from losing that match. Well played by Viper.
And that whole game was neck and neck, down to the wire. As we saw, these teams are so close in skill. We did call it right from the start. We knew this was going to be a battle, but really just showing how close this fight was going down to the last 2 seconds of the entire match as the deciding factor.
Absolutely. Integrity struggling on the spear, but that is the nature of the spear. You know, it is a tough battle going into a minigun as a spear. So.
And it looks like that is going to be the end of our night. 8 to 10 p.m. EST every Thursday. TNT, Thursday Night Throwdowns, Casted Pugs. Thank you all for coming. We had a fantastic time. I have my co-caster, Satan, really clutching up today. Great, as always.
Always good time to be here. Once again, check out the website. They got some cool stuff over there.